$5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 would have landed in your bank account if you had followed the advice of this channel over the last 14 days about state stimulus. But the good news is that states are getting more money for state stimulus. They're doing extended benefits, extending your UI benefits, thank goodness, doing more rent stimulus that they never had before, and doing more utility stimulus and some even more stimulus checks. This is all really exciting, great news as we look to Congress and say, what's going on with those people? States are doing the same. They're looking at Congress saying, you know what, it's time for us to step up. And some of the states that said they had no money, they had no access to anything, couldn't help you, no way, sorry, no way, not gonna happen, suddenly do have the money. This is really exciting. And now the tide has been turned, and the tide will continue to turn if the second stimulus package is passed, because it gives states even more money to give to you. This is a big afternoon's recording of Purple. Good afternoon, everybody. This is Afternoons Lalate, and this is Purple, our afternoon show that goes over state stimulus. This is state stimulus that lands in your hands, rent, utilities, and food, and more. This is the utility stimulus, rent stimulus, and state stimulus checks that you desperately need and that come quicker than anything that Congress is doing. And the viewers of this channel have gotten over $500,000 of this money over the last few weeks. You can continue to get it as well. So please subscribe. Go to the Fun's channel, subscribe, because no one's fighting to get you money more than this channel. Find it around the clock, 24/7, and with the community volunteers on the community page, news.lalate.com/community, getting you this money around the clock. So please subscribe. Also like this channel. It really helps in the algorithm rankings. In this Christmas Eve video, I will be going over the state stimulus is available to you around the clock. You can go on their state websites right now, their local websites. I'm also going to be turning to the utility stimulus and then the food stimulus. Meantime, I'm going to be turning to what Congress is doing now and how that could impact your ability to get the massive rent stimulus. Finally, toy stimulus. A lot of you have asked about it and a lot more of asking about it right today, of course, because it's Christmas. With that, so much to deliver, and let's get to the breaking news. The breaking news is here today is that rent, food, utilities, and toy stimulus is heating up once again. I went to this subject matter about 14 days ago because no one saw Congress doing anything. Then they started to do stuff for 2 weeks. And now it looks like they're going off the tracks again. This is becoming hot once again, state stimulus, because we don't see progress in Congress that's reassuring in the last 2 days. So then what does this mean about you and your state stimulus? Let's go over the details. First, let me start with toy stimulus, obviously, for Christmas Eve. It's too late right now to get toy stimulus on Christmas Eve, obviously. But there's still toys available throughout the holiday season, and you're going to go to charities like United Way, Salvation Army, and children's charities that and Toys for Tots that have toys. The amount of toys will dissipate over time, and it's generally for children 16 years of age of younger. Also, the volunteers can help you find those toys. But let's turn to rent stimulus, which is really quite fascinating. The reason why this is fascinating is under the second stimulus bill, there is a proposal to give an enormous amount of money for rent stimulus. Now, how does that land? Where does it go? And how does it operate? It's not how we had anticipated. It lands in the states, and the states give it to the cities, and the cities and counties give it to you. So with this rent stimulus, how do you get it? How do you get the rent stimulus? The way you get it is you would go to your city, your county, your state, and also the housing authorities from all those different divisions, city housing authority, county housing authority, state housing authority. And you ask if you have any rent assistance. Assistance, that's a key word, rent assistance. And if you get a no, go to the next department and keep on looking. But here's another point of advice. Write down the phone numbers and save them, because in a few weeks, if this bill gets passed in the next few days, you're going to see these cities and states getting massive amounts of rent stimulus. And they're going to have money if they don't have it now. So this is all changing around the clock. Next, if you looked high and dry for this rent stimulus, it doesn't exist. You're pretty sure it doesn't exist where you are. Then you want to turn to the nonprofits. Who are the nonprofits? These are a series of companies that viewers have gone to get rent stimulus in certain states and have consistently won. I call them repeats. These are people that maybe 2 weeks ago someone got it from this organization in the city. And then yesterday, another person did it again, same organization, same city, and they got it. A different person 2 weeks later. I call it a repeat. It means that they're still working and they still have funds. This is all real exciting. Who are these organizations? Well, they include United Way, Salvation Army, Catholic Charities, and St. Vincent de Paul, and Community Action, who are paying rent and utilities and food across the country in various cities and counties. These are places in cities that may not have your governmental rent stimulus, like San Diego County, like Kern County, like Northern California. Those counties may not have anything. These charities are stepping up and doing it well. They do in Kentucky and Ohio and places like that as well. So where do you start? Well, you start with all those I just told you, but also I have a list of situations where it's one nonprofit, one city, or one county, or one state, and viewers have said, I got it. Last night we had some more success stories in Purple Power live. If you never watched that show, tune in every night at 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, where I go over new success stories and where you can get this money. That's Purple Power Live every night, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on this channel. All right, so what is the money that people are getting and where are they getting it from? In Mississippi, they're getting rent from Mercy House, Home Saver, and they're getting rent from Salvation Army. They're also getting rent from MSHDA, Eviction Diversion. In Rhode Island, they're getting rent from Crossroads and the Crossroads State Housing Authority. In Indiana, they're getting rent from indianahousingnow.org and also from 211. In Las Vegas, repeat, they're getting rent from Clark County Services. In Kentucky, they're getting utilities, repeat, from Community Action. They're getting rent, repeat, in New York from One Shot. They're getting rent in Michigan from Salvation Army. Rent from Arizona, repeat, from New Leaf. And rent in Georgia from United Way. In Nebraska, they're getting rent from United Way. They're also getting mortgage help from 877 Get Hope. In El Paso, repeat, they're getting rent from Project Bravo. Delaware, calling 211. Texas, calling 211. City of Dallas, going to cityofdallas.com. And then they're getting heating oil from HEAP and other places like that as well. But there's more good news. St. Mary Magdalene's is paying rent and taxes to viewers of this channel. Community Ministries, repeat, is paying rent to viewers of this channel in Kentucky. In New Jersey, they're getting rent from United Way. In Ohio, they're getting rent from Community Action. In Massachusetts, they're getting rent from Interfaith Social Services. In Phoenix, repeat, they're getting rent from TCDC. In New Jersey, they're getting rent from the state. In Alabama, from 211. Delaware up to 10,000, and Texas getting it across the board from Catholic Charities. State stimulus checks have been issued in some places across the country or coming, and those states are Maine got 600, Colorado got 375, New Mexico got 1,200, Oregon got 500, North Carolina got 335, Houston got 1,200, Pennsylvania is pending. Also pending is New Hampshire, Rhode Island, Connecticut, Massachusetts, New York, New Jersey, Virginia, Delaware. Counties giving stimulus include Jacksonville, $1,000, Orange, $1,200. Nome, Alaska is giving rent stimulus. Also pending is Escambia County, Fort Worth, and Gadsden County. In Orange, $1,000 has been given to rent, and in Austin, $2,000. And there you are. There's rent stimulus as well in the city of Nashville, city of Harrisburg, city of Atlanta, city of New York, counties across Georgia, like Gwinnett and DeKalb. And what's really good news is what's happening in states just this week. States like New York are doing things across not one, not two, but three different items. First, they're doing new rent stimulus. They're reopening their rent stimulus programs that were closed. They got more rent, and they're saying, come on, apply. So this is important to understand that if you're in a state and say, hey, there's nothing in Kentucky, they don't have anything, give it some time. You're going to see them announce reopenings. That's with the existing CARES Act 1 money. That's not in addition to what's going to happen with the second stimulus bill when it becomes law at some point. Then all this money will be given to states to send to you, and this is second stimulus rent money that you can go get. All exciting. But then there's the issue of utilities. Utilities are available in nearly every jurisdiction across the country. And finally, There's food assistance as well. Now, states are doing two other things. What are they? They're doing extended benefits. They're extending weeks of UI and PUA because they're unhappy with what Congress is doing. So look for that as well. They're also going to be doing other things like more stimulus checks for residents of the cities or states. When looking at state stimulus checks, not state rent stimulus, but state stimulus checks that you can use for any purpose, don't expect them to come in big states like California, Texas, and Florida, but do expect those states to do two things: extend the eviction moratorium and mortgage forbearance, and do another round of rent stimulus, food stimulus, and utility stimulus. So what will happen under third stimulus with Biden? That's the video that usually follows after this, but today, because of programming changes and because of the breaking report that happened earlier today, third stimulus will return tomorrow. What's happening on the third stimulus for rent? Well, Biden's going to have a lot more rent money, and he's also going to have money for state and local. That money will compound together and be basically a monolith to send out money from the cities and counties and states to you. So again, it goes back to the same narrative that if you have that phone number of all those departments saved, please keep in a good place, because you're going to be going back to these agencies in the coming weeks and getting more money. There's a lot of stimulus available for you. Ultimately, Congress is not doing what they should be doing as fast as they should be doing. But if you're in states like Hawaii, Illinois, New York, and New Jersey, you're seeing new extended weeks of benefits. Expect more states to step up and extend the weeks of benefits for unemployment, do eviction moratorium, mortgage forbearance, and things like that as well. A lot of time is still upon us. We have a couple days to do these things, and states can do these very quickly. They have the constitutional authority. It requires only an act of state government to do it by their governor or their state legislator, and then it's gone. And with that, you're up to date on your state stimulus check and state stimulus package. I thank you for joining me, and I congratulate the viewers of this channel who got state stimulus over the last 14 days. I've seen your incredible comments. The comments were all generally the same. They were about to be on the brink of homelessness, or they were heading into homelessness, or they saw no opportunity to turn this around for themselves in the next few weeks. They said their holidays were forever changed because of this channel, and they were totally grateful. I'm grateful that you're a viewer. So thank you for, in turn, sharing your information. If you have a success story, if you've watched this channel and you've had a success story in getting rent, utilities, and food, please join me on ProPower Live and share that information by posting it into the chat live so I can share that information with other viewers. Ultimately, the repeat information is the winning information. Coming up next is continuation of this with Being a Mitch Live. As always, stay informed, stay smiling, and stay LA for more.